Welcome, everybody, to the R&R CatCast, a fan-based podcast focusing on Montana State athletics. We're two dudes named Ryan from the state of Washington talking about our dear Montana State. We hope you enjoy. All right, welcome back, Bobcat fans. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the R&R CatCast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Foley. He's your host, Ryan Thornburg. We are the Ryans of the R&R, the Montana State affiliate of the Big Sky Podcast Network, and we want to give a shout out to Gear Up Sports. Gear Up Sports is a youth sports platform focusing on solving the uniform and apparel headache for coaches. If you're a youth or high school coach and need uniforms or player packs, please contact them at www.gearupwithus.com and make sure to mention the R&R CatCast. We're here on the heels of the bye week. We get to play ball again against Eastern Washington, and we got our good buddy, Zack with us. How you guys doing, fellas?
Communism, the devil, and Eastern Washington. It's all red. We're ready for the inferno. Let's do it.
How long do you work on that one?
Oh, you know, the Bobby Houck special. I just stole it straight from him.
Nice. Well, I'm doing fantastic, man. I got myself a red beer. We can talk about that in a little bit, but It's all red over here. Your microphone's red. A lot of red bleeding into this episode.
A lot of red, yeah.
Well, we'll talk about Eastern in a moment. Let's get a little show rundown. We're going to talk about the FCS Top 25. Is it week 9? I can't tell anymore. It's too long. We'll talk about the news. We'll get into what Coach Vegan wore and talk a little bit about his presser. We'll do a little EWU preview. And I'm debuting a new game. I'm going to pit you two against each other in Name That Bobcat, something that came out of last week's talk with Keaton Bamone not having the names on the back of the jerseys. And I was wondering, if I just put some numbers out there, could you name that Bobcat?
I think I can.
It's multiple choice. I'm going to give you some.
I don't
think I'm going to get exposed.
Choice.
I got 4 questions for each of you. And, well, the loser of the game is going to buy beers in Spokane. So there you go.
Deal.
Not to listeners, just to you two. That's all. Just to the podcast. No listener beers.
You guys can play amongst yourselves. And then the loser of your, you guys can figure that out.
All right.
You can just come say hi to us and buy us a beer because you like us.
There you go.
Golden Coolie, is that what you said?
Yeah, got like 2. I was able to ask like at 6:00 tonight. I was like, whoops, there it is. So,
Sorry, I got a few on
guys.
Twitter. I asked on Twitter today. I remembered.
All right.
So we got a few.
Okay, but first let's talk about what's in our Golden Coolies.
What's in your Golden Coolie?
What's in your Golden Coolie is brought to you by Wilbur Ellis. Go see Shea Richter and Company up in Fort Benton for all your farming and fertilizer needs. Piggybacking off the success of our Idaho beers, where we actually bought black and yellow beers and both realized it and it ended up being awesome, I decided to go red beer time. And I actually have a red beer, and not just a red like beer, like, a Clamato Chelada red beer, that kind of red. The Bud Light Chelada, that's what I got. It's huge. It barely fits in the Golden Coolie. I had to kind of shove it in there. But yeah, Bud Light Chelada with some Clamato. Got a whole red vibe going here because it worked out last time.
It's very Eastern Washington of you.
That's very Montana of
It's
me.
full commitment.
Go ahead, Zach.
All right. Well, I'll follow the path of red and black beers. I have a cold smoke with me. Last one in the fridge. Last beer I had in the fridge. Planning to do a little shopping before I head to Spokane, and then go back to the old stomping grounds and grab a bunch of beers back over there and bring them back.
All right. Well, I'm still dipping into the CNC Cat presents he brought me. I got a Gallatin Pale Ale from, it looks like Bozeman Brewing Company. It's the first time I've had this. It's okay. It's not my favorite one. It was the last one in the fridge, but thought it'd be good to debut. I got a blue beer. You guys have some red ones, and so
There, balances out.
Election season, guys. Here we go.
Yeah. Jeez. Let's not.
This is the best distraction in the world.
We already said communism.
We could say.
That's enough. That is enough. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Well, solid choice, gentlemen.
Well,
We're
there it is.
all lubing up. That's all that really matters.
Some news came out today. Now that Bobcat football is back, well, some news has been brewing. We'll start off with Brody Grebe. Brody Grebe is one of 16 finalists for the William V. Campbell Trophy, and this is the top student athlete in the country, the top student athletes in the country. If this sounds familiar, Troy Anderson was nominated for this same award. A little bit about Brody: he's a mechanical engineer. He's already graduated last May with a 3.93 GPA, summa cum laude. That's high. I don't know what that is. Is it magna cum laude? Is that the best, or is it summa? I'm not sure. Anyways,
I was nowhere near any of it, so I don't know.
yeah.
Same.
And I think he has an award for like Montana's like engineering award. He's just a stud. So I know Coach Vegan was talking about him today and just very impressed that the guy that is so good for our football team is just outside of it. It's just and then a really impressive guy. So good for him. And also Jones, Adam Jones. There it is.
There you
Forgot
go.
his name there for a split second. Adam Jones landed on the Walter Payton. No,
Yep. I knew you were gonna do it. I knew you
Son
were
of a
gonna do
gun.
that.
I
Because
did
once
it.
something gets in your head before we start recording, it will
It's there.
guaranteed to come out again.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, it's my crutch right there. I can't do that. Jerry Rice. So that's he's on the watch list. That's the National Freshman of the Year. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
He
kudos
talked
to those
about
guys.
that.
Nice.
Big awards.
Yeah, he talked about that in his presser today. That 406 Montana Sports put out. He wanted to have that award this year. I didn't know that was a personal goal for him.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How many people have that kind of goal in mind when you're a freshman? Like, I'm gonna win the Freshman of the Year. I love it. It's
Adam
aggressive.
Jones. There it is.
Adam Jones. He has it.
Any other news you guys know about?
Clifton
Julius
McDowell's out for the season.
Yeah, Julius Davis back in the lineup. We got some lineup news.
Yeah,
Okay.
we could talk a little bit about that.
Looks like Ty McCullough too. I know he went out in the Portland State game, but he looks to be A-OK and ready to go this week. So no reason to worry there, I guess.
And Bryce Grebe looks like he's back on the 2-dip as well. So pretty much all the little nicks we got last week or a
Reloaded.
couple weeks ago.
Perkins
back.
is still out though. Justice.
Yes.
Yeah, Brent Vigan talked a little bit about that in the press conference. He does not have a red shirt.
Apparently redshirted in 2019.
Oh wow.
So this is it, I think, right? So if he's back in game shape,
Got to play, man.
what do you do, man? What do you do? What do you do?
Can he
for
apply
Coach
for a
Vigan?
medical red shirt?
I think Vigan said he basically would have to not play.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that means he sits out and he can do it, but if he's healthy and he can play, does that really count as a medical research or red shirt if you're just not playing but you could? That's a weird one.
Yeah.
I don't know the details of how the NCAA would feel about that.
Well, I guess if we're talking about Julius Davis for a moment, red shirt is totally on the table.
Yes,
Yep.
for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really hoping he does because certain other running back might not be here next year. So guaranteeing Julius Davis coming back would be fantastic.
All right. Before we get into too much more, let's talk about the FCS Top 25. Came out this morning. Interestingly enough, there's no first place votes on the one that's the NCAA put out. So I can't speak to any of that, but it stayed North Dakota State number 1, Montana State number 2, South Dakota State number 3. UC Davis move up to number 4 from number 5. South Dakota, Southern Missouri State comes in at 6. Tarleton State's number 7. Montana moved up 1 from to number 8 from number 9. UIW is number 9, and Idaho came back into the top 10 after being at a number 11. And I do think that is the only Big Sky schools that are in the top 25.
I think NAU is the only one receiving votes now.
Yes. And they're probably, let's see, 25, 26, 27, 28. So they would effectively be 29th right now.
Top 30, baby.
I was reflecting on this just a little bit back when we were in college, when we cracked the top 25 for the first time in Kramer's tenure. How exciting that was just to be like number 24. I was like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh. After looking at Montana at number one for decades, it felt like not decades, but, a little hyperbole right there.
Yeah, when you crack the top 20 and you're like at number 17 or something, it felt like
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty exciting. Those are exciting times
I also
for a whole
wondered,
different
North
reason.
Dakota State is 8-1. So they've played 9 games already, and we've had 2 buys. Are they going to have another buy? Does all 12 teams have buys? Or 12?
They do have a bye. I think they play this week, and then they have a bye, and then they have the last 2 games of the year.
Okay. I got it.
So
I got
I
it.
looked at it earlier today. They have one. They have one coming up.
Speaking of buys, I'll give it a little buy or sell. Buy or sell, Montana State's going to have 3 buys in
Nice.
this season.
Bye.
In the future or this year?
This year.
Oh yeah, bye.
Okay.
You're asking if we're gonna have like a bye in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're asking if we're going to be a top 8 team? Yes.
Wheels are going to fall off, guys.
Yeah, we might not win out, but we're not that.
Jeez.
And it's not gonna fall off that man much.
All
Jeez.
right. So, anything that jumps out to you or anything surprising there?
I was happy that South Dakota State didn't surpass us. I thought they might.
Yeah.
That game was ugly, ugly for both teams. So honestly, but besides the point that SDSU won, it was probably perfect scenario for us because neither team looked really great. Both teams tried to lose that game at certain points. And so for us to stay at 2, all the things that needed to happen kind of happened. Just an ugly win, an ugly loss for both those teams.
They were awarded 0 style points and therefore did not move.
Yes, exactly.
You texted today, it's going to be a race of style points for the rest of the season.
I believe that. I'll bring that up later when we talk about EWU.
Yeah.
Buy or sell, most surprising team in the Big Sky this year is Davis.
Sell, because I thought they would be pretty good.
Like number 4 good?
I thought they'd be pretty darn good this year.
I had to go. I remember I had them finishing pretty high in my. I think I had them collapsing at the end, like they have been historically.
Yeah.
But
We both penciled them out at 7 and 5, Brian.
did we? I thought I had them better now. I think I probably had them at 7-1 and then losing 4 in a row or something.
It's
Love that.
more who's disappointing this year. Because I feel like the race for most disappointing team in the conference, there's a couple teams that are wrangling that right now.
I mean, the biggest surprise for me is how crappy Sack has been.
Sack's terrible. Weber lost to Northern Colorado at home.
I had no idea what to expect from Weber this year. It was hard
Yeah.
to pick them.
Davis
Season
being
good or
number
bad
4 is
is
blowing
not
my mind,
surprising.
guys. Like that Davis matchup in a week or 2 is just going to be ginormous. Are you kidding? Like top 4 matchup, perhaps?
Yet I feel surprisingly calm.
Right?
I don't know why. Like I should be way more going into Idaho. I was stressed for Idaho. I thought we'd whoop them, but I was like, oh, this, please, Lord, don't let that happen. I just feel confident.
Well,
Like I'm breaming with confidence right now with our team.
depends on what happens this week.
Yeah.
If Montana State can come out to Cheney and just mop the floor with them, yeah, I'll be really excited about that. But yeah, that's a huge game. That's a ginormous game. Tim Plow, man, such a great hire. They got it right over at Davis, and I think they're doing really good. But they're going to lose Land Larson. They'll lose Miles Hastings next year. It's they're going to miss some pieces. We'll see how they reload.
I had them at 6-2 in my preseason picks. I had them losing to Eastern this last week.
Ooh,
Other than that, I had it nailed.
yeah.
And a 6-2 Big Sky team is always going to be like top 7 or 8.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
But then they beat Northern Colorado, and then I have them losing to the Grizz, the Bobcats, and Sack to finish the classic 7-5.
Thorny, did you have us losing to EWU this week in your preseason?
He did. He did.
I do, yeah. I do. It's the only loss I have on the schedule.
man.
Just because I didn't think that we could go undefeated, so I kind of like that one seemed to me like the one that just ugh. But yeah,
He's
I do.
hedging a
I
bet.
did have them losing
Yep.
losing to the Eastern.
This is
Quick
this is
goal-
our third time playing in Eastern in the last 4 years.
Yep, that's what we do for some reason. It's just
Jeez.
weirdest thing. There was a Golden Coolie question. Somebody said, let me see. What game will be tougher, the Brawl or UC Davis?
Oh,
Well,
it
the
was
two
like rank the hardest games in order. Or are you? It was a new question. Sorry, I was referring to an old question.
Yeah, this is from, let's see, Moni Moni. What game will be tougher, the Brawl or Davis?
Ooh.
Zach, I think I know what you're going to say. You're going to say Davis.
That's kind of where I'm at right now, but also there's a lot I don't know about Montana, and there's a lot I don't know about UC Davis from watching them. I mean, Davis should have a loss to Portland State right now if there was any better camera angles at that game.
It's true.
So I think about that. They also, they beat Idaho at their home field. They've had some good games. They have a talented team. And then I look at Montana, where their defense has been questionable at points, and then they have a shutout, albeit Northern Colorado, and then their offense kind of sputters a little bit. So those two teams play each other in 2 weeks now, right before we
Mhm.
play them, I think.
Yeah.
So I know we're week 9, but I still don't. If you were asked me to power rank those two teams, I don't know if I could.
That's fair. I mean, you look at Davis's record, and you talk like the Castro, how many wins Davis beat Idaho, and that's it. So they're
Yeah.
not. Their strength of schedule is pretty bad.
And I know it's a win. I know they beat Portland State but I mean, shoot, guys, we have a Big Sky official who's suspended this week because of
They can't
missing
figure out
the
if
extra
a
point.
field goal.
Yes,
or
the
an extra
field
point is
goal.
good or not.
Yes, the Big Sky suspended an official because he replayed that. They missed on a replay for a field goal. Cost Idaho State the game, probably.
Man.
So
No, the Bengals won. The Bengals won.
2 weeks ago against was the NAU Idaho State game?
Oh, really?
I think it
Yeah.
was an
So
AU.
they had a PAT. I can't remember if they missed it or didn't miss it, and they called it good, I think. I don't know. Anyway, they got the call wrong on a PAT, and so the officials are suspended, and it turned out to be a 4-point game. So,
Yeah, it was a big deal.
All right. Thorny.
anyway, I
No,
don't know which one.
I want Thorny's answer on this one. I think I know what he's going to say.
God, that's a tough one, man. Right now, I don't want to overlook it, but I feel like Davis is harder just because it's a road game more than anything. You get the Cat Grizz all juiced up in Bozeman. Like, I think the Cats have a good chance of just steamrolling anybody that comes into Bozeman.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I'm going to go with the Cat Grizz.
I'll go Davis.
It's close. I think it's really close. And I don't, like I said, I don't want to just be dismissive of the Grizz or anything like that, but on the road against a potential top 5 team right before Cat Grizz, it's not ideal.
Woo. All right. This is good. Some good by ourselves early on. Let's talk about Coach Vegan's presser. Let's talk about what
I was just
Coach
about to
Vegan.
ask about that.
And now,
Fire.
Bobcat fans,
Can't
it's
forget
time for F&F Fashion Watch, brought to you by Foley and Fisher, the only two that seem to really care what Brent Vegan is wearing at his press conference.
Thank you, Russell. Coach wore a soft gray suit, a white press shirt with a pale blue tie with a subtle cream circular pattern. No pocket square, no baloney.
It's good every time.
I don't like cream circular. That's just unpleasant phrase of words to hear. Somehow that just like made my skin crawl a little bit there. But other than that,
Colorado-
you did fantastic.
Yeah, Colorado Cat said, did you ask Keaton to pass along the pocket square idea to Vegan? And I didn't, but I thought about it the day
Should've.
after, and it was a missed opportunity because Keaton is a self-described, well-dressed man. And I should have talked to him about the pocket square.
Should've.
We had it in, and we missed the opportunity.
This is why we just don't get what we want in life out of this podcast. Missed opportunities.
Oh,
Darn.
dang. All right.
It's almost like we can't contact him again or anything.
Well, I thought Coach Vegan came out kind of guns blazing a little bit. You can tell he had a little extra time because he had a lot about Eastern Washington right off the top of his head. He was talking players. He was talking stats. He talked Kiko Visperis. He stated that Kiko Visperis is 13-1 with his 13 touchdowns to 1 interception. He has 74% completion. What would you guess Tommy Malotte's completion rate is?
69.
Yeah, I was gonna say right around that 70, probably 72, 73.
It's in the 60s. It's go on to ESPN real quick and you'll see it. I think it's like 62 or 64.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit different. So yeah, Kiko Visperis, pretty high.
70%. I don't know what you're looking at.
70%?
70.0%. 105, 150.
Okay, well, maybe I was wrong.
Get
Ryan
schooled.
Foley's wrong right there. Talked about Efton Chisholm at 76 catches. Efton Chisholm is the Big Sky leader right now with 869 yards with 8 touchdowns. That's pretty cool. Good for him. He also talked about the defense. He said Eastern Washington gives a lot of different looks. They run 4 down, 3 down, flex defense. And so preparing for them has been hard. Adam Jones talked about that a little bit in his presser today. He says, well, we're seeing multiple fronts, and we just got to focus on us, what we do best. But all kind of distilled down to Coach Vegan really talking about, again, this 1-0 mentality. And like they are just harping on this week in and week out. It's almost getting just not boring to listen to, but they're really like saying we cannot live in the future. If we live in the future, we are in trouble. That is almost word for word what Coach Vegan said. So they are hyper focused on Eastern Washington right now.
Consistency is key, and one of the things we've seen, albeit from the vegan teams over the last 3 years, is I think it was the NAU game in 2022 where we had to have basically the Taco Dowler Hail Mary to set up the field goal to win. We had the Eastern game that year where, Tommy goes out and Chambers has to come in, and that game was pretty tight. And we've had a couple games that have been closer than we've liked to have them against opponents we shouldn't have had. So, and then last year it kind of came to a head where, the season kind of blew up at Idaho. So having those over the last 2 years and realizing you got to focus on who you're focusing, it is cliche, but it seems to be working because we haven't had one of those this year. I mean, Idaho State was a little close in the second half, but for about 2 minutes, and then Rohan Johns had an 80-yard touchdown. So that's kind of how it looks. Is just if they keep doing it, it's working. They're the cliche and getting old. I'll never get hold of it if we keep blowing teams out by halftime.
I'm a fan.
I'm a big fan.
No cardiac cats.
Yeah,
Stress-free kitties.
I'm starting to wonder what happens when we do get into a close game. And Keaton mentioned he's like, well, it was week 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Week 1 feels like
long time ago.
Yes, so long. And so do we remember how to win when it's tough and gritty? I think we can. I think this team is hyper focused. And then I started thinking about all the things like, is this the team? Like, are we like, is this the moment we can't screw it up? And I'm like, okay, that's if I'm feeling that, do the players feel that? Do they feel the specialness of this? Will that weight be overbearing to them?
I think they know they can be special.
Yeah, there's some strong seniors leadership, and I think they are permeating that kind of mentality down throughout the rest of the team, and I love it.
Coach is also 40-9 too, so
fastest to 40.
That's crazy.
I guess if there's a silver lining is we already have 8 wins. If there is a hiccup, it's not like we're missing the playoffs, fellas. We can refocus. We can use that as a learning tool, and we might not get the number 2 seed or the number 1 seed because I still think that's on the table, by the way.
It's 100% on the table.
Yeah, we're in a good spot right now. I said it last week. I think this is the best Bobcat team I've seen in my fandom. I still hold to that saying. But we're gonna see when we start traveling. Right, it starts today. It starts this week when we're all convening here, drinking beers in Cheney, and we'll sit there on Saturday, and then we'll watch. We'll see. We absolutely made Kiko Visperis think. His head was spinning last year. I think we knocked him out of the game. I really did.
Did he get knocked out against Idaho?
I thought I heard.
I think he left the game. I thought I saw.
Yeah, I
I
thought I
haven't got a
heard that.
status on him.
No, I haven't seen. Brent Ringo was talking about him like he was for sure going to play. So
Okay.
Eastern's 2-6. We played them in the 7th game of the conference slate last year. We're playing them in the 5th game this year. What do they have to play for? Well, they played pretty hard last week. Coach Best had them going. They're going to be hyped to see us come to town because we're the number 2 team in the nation. Of course, they're going to be hyped to get us going. Can we put this game to bed early? Because if it starts like the last thing I think we want, fellas, is this for this to start as a shootout, because then that's the narrative of the game. If we can get to Vesperis early, if we can contain Tuna Altair, their running back, and if we don't let Efton Chisholm beat us over the top, he's going to get his. But if we don't let him have an explosive play, I think we're going to come out of this with a W.
Last year, I think it was 44-7 at halftime. That was it was senior day last year, but I remember we just blew their doors off.
Yeah.
it wasn't like the first time we ever really manhandled Eastern.
Yeah, we just kind of body bagged him. It was over quick.
Yeah. You said third time. It's the third time we've been over in Eastern Washington in 4 years.
Yep, we played him in November of 21. I think that was the first time we had won on the red turf in forever.
That was the
With
Matt
old Matt
McKay game.
McKay, yeah. And
He
then
looked
we
good that
played him
game.
in 22. First game of Big Sky Conference, I think, in 22. It was the game Tommy got concussed
Yep.
on a slide.
And Chambers came in and they tried to kill Chambers too.
And then we had the immaculate interception at the end of the game to seal it. Remember that? It took like 15 minutes to review if it was an actual pick or not.
Yeah, Danny, you. Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that. Yeah, I forgot about that, but I remember.
Yep.
Gosh,
There's positives and negatives. Again, it's good. It's close enough for our fan base. I mean, there's a lot of people in Western Montana who can't make it to Bozeman, but for some reason can make it to Spokane a little easier in Cheney.
it's a tough place to play, man. Cheney is a tough place to play. The wind whips through that stadium, and it's cold, and it can be really hot. There's just they got some like devil's magic on that stadium too. It's really weird.
Kind of ran out. I mean, it was good for a decade, but it doesn't seem like that magic's still there.
They're still a dangerous
It's
team, but
lingering.
They're
I do
dangerous at some points, but
the mystique of like Eastern, that's kind of gone right now.
the rise and fall of Eastern in the last 15 years is just somebody needs to write a book about that.
It is weird to think about. They do have some devil's magic, though. It's just lingering in their basketball court. It could seep over.
God.
Still floating around on campus somewhere.
It's so weird to me because like when you're on the campus over there and you're looking around, like how are these guys ever good? You like look around like, why would anybody want to come to school here? I don't know. That's a shot at Eastern, but it's true. It's true. It's really interesting over there. It's quaint, but it's nothing like Montana State. I mean, you can't have it. You can't have the setting of Bozeman on the Palouse there, but yeah, it's just weird.
There's a big town right next door.
Which is weird, man. Why doesn't Gonzaga have a football team? I'd be like apt to root for them if Gonzaga had a football team.
There's actually a good article. I read it when they got in the Pac-12. It was about Gonzaga's program in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a football program. It was terrible. Then World War II happened. Then post-World War II, when they got rid of it, they basically just said it wasn't financially viable. Just scrapped it.
They were in the Big Sky.
There's a little history for you there.
It would be fun. It would be fun. Anyways. Alrighty. Where do you guys want to go with this?
I don't know. I keep having nightmares about Kiko Vesperis hitting Efton Chisholm streaking over the middle. Because I've been saying this for like a month straight. Somebody's gonna hit one of those open passes everyone just keeps overthrowing. Is this the day what happens? I don't think we lose. I think it's a game that the Cats can win pretty easily, but they're gonna connect eventually, and I think this is the game where that happens.
I think line for this game isn't out yet. I would set the line in my head at 21.5.
21.5 is pretty big.
I mean, that's where I'd put it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, though. I think it does make sense.
I mean, the Portland State line, I think, was right around that, too. somewhere right in there.
Yeah, what is Eastern? Are they 2-6 or?
They're 2-6.
There's got to be prop bets if Tommy Malot's playing fourth quarter or not.
So they beat
Gonna bet no.
Monmouth, then lost to Drake. I forgot they lost to Drake at home. That's a terrible loss. And then they went on the road to beat Zack.
And then they almost beat Montana.
Dude, Zack and ISU, the Bengals, are the same team right now.
I love Idaho State. It's secretly becoming like my sleeper team to watch and root for.
Right?
I don't know what it is. They're building
Cheers
stupid.
to that, man.
They're building stupid. The town is dumb. It's just a small area. There's something about the Bengals and just the little underdog story of that team, and rooting for Cody Hawkins. I root for teams that have like had very little success in a long time. It's kind of like Vanderbilt this year in the SEC. It's like go little guy, go. Like I'm rooting for you guys to be good.
Yep. Same.
I've always kind of had a
fun
little
when
soft
you're
spot
good.
for Idaho State too. I don't know why.
Because they've never given you a reason to not like them.
I had a fun night in
plenty of reasons
Pocatello
not to
once
like
upon
them.
a time.
They've had some like kind of notoriously dirty teams over the years.
Yep.
Especially back in like the Kramer, Jared Allen days. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Kramer is a Bobcat, not Kramer at Idaho State. Got to clarify. It's like back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, they got had a reputation. And before they got their turf replaced, I remember, guys tear their ACLs on their crappy AstroTurf.
We had one of those again on their new turf.
So, yeah, it's just a fun little team to root for, I suppose.
So my question for the game is, how is Julius Davis going to look?
He's going to look beast mode, baby.
He's got the
shot out of a cannon.
Half of the Don Joey Mafia braces on his knee.
He's going to kill the first person he runs
into.
Oh,
my gosh. Having him, like, join the running back crew, you're like, what? Like, embarrassment of riches. Like, he might kill the first person he comes in contact with.
Yes, he's got a lot of pent-up frustration. Did you hear Vegan talk a little bit about how he practices compared to how he plays?
He's a gamer.
Yeah, he's a gamer. He's on the
and he with his sly smirk that you normally don't see from Coach Vegan in public media. He's like, he doesn't practice very well, but he's a gamer.
Pretty much like he sucks at practice, but once he gets in the game, I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, huh. I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Once again, I'm going to say a prayer for the Eastern linebackers.
Yeah, a combination of Davis and Humphrey sounds just terrible to
Zach, help me remember this. Didn't Davis like taunt the sideline, the opposing team's sideline last year?
That was the Weber game. The Weber game.
Allegedly, he was saying that
don't know if he blew.
Mask.
Yeah, I still don't know if it was a blown kiss or a face mask.
I like to think it looks to me
more
kiss.
like a face mask, but I mean, it's interpretive.
I like to think it's a.
I like the mystery there. We'll ask him once he graduates.
Mid run, yes, he did.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him later. He'll just say, "Nah, man, that was just tell him about a face mask."
I love watching him on the sidelines. Do you catch him over there in Bozeman when you're watching the game? Do you just do a little Julius Davis spotting? Just the way he brings the energy over there.
He's always hyping up the other running backs, man. He's a teammate for sure.
Yeah,
I mean that's a good thing you got to see is when you can't play and you're a teammate, getting your other guys ready and being there and supporting them. You love to see it.
Speaking of running backs, quick question: does Elijah Elliott come back?
Does he have another year?
Is he going to get healthy this year, or is he out for the season?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the whole thing has been kind of just weirdly quiet. Like,
dude loves Bozeman.
Yeah, we love him.
Dude's loving Bozeman. I know that he's having a great time.
He's a player that I'd like to get on to the R&R once in a while because he's a guy we've always in years we've rooted for him. So, Elijah, if you listen, man, you're welcome. Come on, buddy. All right, guys, let's play a little game.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so this game was born from Keaton last week talking about the numbers on the back of the jerseys, and I was like, how good would I know the players if I was just given a number? So here's how the game's going to go. I went through the roster, and I picked a guy, and I'm going to give you 3 names, and it's kind of like multiple choice. I got 4 for Thorny and 4 for you, Zach. we're gonna go heads up. Okay.
If I go
We'll
for
start,
4, I swear.
What
and
does heads up
the
mean?
loser has to buy beers in Spokane.
All right.
1 round at least. All right.
Okay.
Thorny, I'll let you decide since you are the elder statesman here. Do you want to go back and forth, or do you want all 4 at one time?
Back and forth.
Back and forth. All right. First one goes to Ryan Thornburg. Number 36. It could be
36.
Cole Taylor, linebacker, Zach Cruz, defensive end, or Jake Vegan, defensive end.
Do I get a chance to steal?
I haven't thought that through. No, you don't.
Okay.
Zack Cruz.
Zach Cruz is correct.
Yep.
Point for Thorny.
Whew, I was not confident.
Ooh, I'm gonna ring the bell every time you get one right. All right, I'm gonna keep score here real quick. So
Take a drink of my chelada.
Thorny's got one.
Victory sip.
All right, Zach. Here we go. This is the number 9 on offense. Zach, there's 2 number 9s. This is the number 9 on offense. Is
Ooh,
it
I know it. I know off the top of my head.
Lanata Jr. Alexander, wide receiver, Aiden Garrigan, or wide receiver Ryan King?
It's Alexander, isn't it?
It's Ryan
Nope.
King.
Nope.
It's Ryan King.
Ah,
Thorny is up 1-0.
Can you steal it if you know it before you even say the names?
No, you can't. You can't steal.
was like,
it.
how
that's
did you
Ryan
know
King.
that one?
That's
I
Ryan
was
King.
like,
I don't know
oh.
why I knew that one, but I don't know Zach Cruz. I know Ryan King. That's messed
See,
up.
I knew the Zach Cruz one. I mean, you said 36. I was like, Zach Cruz.
All right. Thorny, second question. Number 73.
Oh man, going
Is it
lineman on
Titan
me.
Fleischman, Cedric Jefferson,
Oh.
or Jaden Perkins?
Fleischman.
Incorrect.
Damn it.
Cedric
Are
Jefferson.
you just trying to prove a point that we need names on the back of jerseys?
Was it Jefferson?
Yes, it is Cedric Jefferson.
I thought he was like 76.
Oh, you know what we should do? Okay. So
What?
halfway through this game, I'm going to change the rules on us. So there is one more question. If you get it wrong, it will be punted back to the other person. And if they get it right, they can steal that point.
Okay, well, we got to finish
Yeah.
the equal number of rounds, though, so you got to do him.
All right. So yes.
I gotta do
And
mine.
starting
All
next
right,
on
so,
my round.
all right. Here we go. Just thinking this through, building this thing on the fly. I like it. Okay. Number 97, Zach.
Mm.
Is it Alex Eckert, Zach Black, or Hunter Charbonneau?
Eckert. I don't. Eckert. Ah, there we
Eckert.
go.
There
we
it
go.
is. Okay, halfway through.
Whew.
We got a tie 1-1. I
Yeah,
like
so much
this. I
fun.
like this. I like this. All right. Round number 2. I don't know how
Yeah,
good
this just
podcasting
goes to
this is.
show how much we don't know.
All right. Thorny, round number 2. Number 20. Is it Brock Steele, Caden Dowler, or Tyson Pottinger?
Tyson Pottinger.
Very nice.
Nice. That's pretty quick. All right. Thorny's up. We'll have to have a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I think there's a very good chance it'll end up a tie.
Yeah,
Who is
maybe.
number 4?
Unless you get, unless
okay.
the punt thing back, and they're gonna just build my
Ooh,
lead.
ooh. Unfair advantage to Zach right here because there is a bonus question in this question.
What?
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
I
That,
don't
he
know.
doesn't get to earn 2 points then.
He can. Ryan Foley's rules.
Kind of
Oh boy.
BS.
Number 42. Is it Ryan Cray, Cole Taylor, or Cole Bullock?
Taylor.
Incorrect.
Ugh.
The
Cray.
bonus question is
Cray.
this. 2
Cray.
of them, they are all linebackers. 2 of
Yeah.
them are from the same city. Name that city.
Oh, jeez. It's a Montana city?
I cannot say.
I'm just going to say Billings.
Incorrect. It was Great Falls, and the answer is Ryan Cray.
Wasn't there a punt option?
0 for 2.
Wow.
That was bad.
Wow, that was a bad one.
What was
All
the
right.
whole
Yeah.
punting thing? Hey,
I told you I'm going to get exposed.
Don't move
I was
off
like,
of this. I thought you
There
said if
was-
you got
yeah.
it wrong, you could
is there a
punt it
mute
back.
button on?
Did you know? Oh, I forgot to ask Thorny. Dang
Yeah.
it.
I said
Okay.
Ryan Cray, like I interjected after you got his
Well,
wrong.
it
you
was
said
too late.
incorrect.
I already made my
ah.
choice. It was too late. The points were missed. Okay.
So hold on. Let me get this straight. You gave him 2 options for a bonus point, and then refused to acknowledge the rules that you set in just like 2 minutes ago.
Oh my God.
Thorny
So a
has
3
2
point
points.
swing.
Zach has 1 point. All right.
He can win it on me here.
He can. He can.
Remember
All
who
right.
edits this podcast? I can clip some stupid stuff, make you sound like you said it.
Number 22. Ryan Thornburg. Number 22. Is it Scottrey Humphrey? Adam Jones? Elijah Elliott?
Scottrey Humphrey.
That was
I knew the
easiest
answer right
one out
away, but
there.
I was just going to
Yeah.
waste your time and make you read them all because you're pissing me off.
Zach, I have one more. We could do double. And then
Why
if you
not
got
triple?
Why
not quadruple?
Yeah, give me 3 questions.
All right. We could do double. And if you do it, you guys
Just give it to me. I'm okay buying. Let's do it.
All right. All right. Last one.
I'm bringing you beer from Bozeman anyway.
Number 17. Jackson
Hikari Hikari.
Harmon. Blake Stillwell. Taki Yu.
Oh, try not to curse. Stillwell.
It's Taki Yu.
See,
Yeah.
told you. Totally gonna get
There it
exposed
is,
on this.
There it is. There it is.
He got
Tony?
Scottrey Humphrey though. I mean, come on.
That's pretty easy.
You got Zach Cruz and Scottrey Humphrey. I mean, I knew
There
both
it
those. On the... all right. I do go to the game, so I should know better.
All watching the same thing. This wasn't. I thought it was going to be like historical.
I thought that too, and I
I
was
didn't
like,
realize
if
it was gonna
it's
be just this
before
year. That's pretty even
2009,
played.
I am
Yeah.
hosed.
Yeah, who was number 37 in 2014? Probably
Yeah.
Deontay Flowers.
This player led the team in rushing in 1996. Name that
No.
Bobcat.
Name that Bobcat. I wanted to call it Bobcat by the numbers, but I think Coulter does like some sort of thing called Bobcat by the numbers every once in a while. I was like,
I think MSU's preseason countdown thing is called Bobcat by the numbers.
oh, there it is. Well, so I'm glad I didn't do
Somebody
it.
has it. It's
Yeah.
somewhere.
It's not trademarked.
Hey, good job. All right, Zach, beers are on you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it. Yay.
Good job, Zach.
Wait,
That
so
was
you
fun.
got
That
free
was fun.
beers no matter how this played out fully?
Was that the only reason I was invited on tonight? Was to con
Yeah.
and buying beers and
Yeah.
Spokane?
Yeah,
Everybody
pretty much.
needs a patsy.
All right.
I wonder how Keaton would have done because that's what I wanted to do.
Ooh, yeah.
That's what I was on when I crafted that in my head. I was like, oh, I wish I could have asked him a couple. So
I feel like he'd be pretty good at that.
you think he would be?
Yep.
All right, guys. Anything else? Golden
Coolie
Coolie
questions?
questions?
Yeah, Coolie question time.
All right, let's get to it. I think I'm all done with mine on Bobcat Nation. We had Tougher Brawler or UC Davis. That's from Moni Moni. And Colorado Cat came in with, did you ask Keaton to pass the pocket square to vegan?
We
Old
did
Prospector on Twitter asks the Inferno field makes my eyes bleed watching on TV. Is it as assaulting to the eyes in person?
not. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Surprisingly, no.
terrible.
It's not as bad in person.
What's more insulting is what they play on the loudspeakers in Cheney. They just blast the same stuff since 2010. Going to any
the-
Eastern athletic event feels like you're circa 2005 to 2010.
They put the purge siren out. It's just like the purge siren on every down.
They're blasting
gotta-
Lil Jon all the time is what they're doing.
I got to a side tangent. I got when I was in the Air Force there at Fairchild Air Force Base, I did some stuff with the search and rescue helicopter crews. Man, I got a low level fly right over that field and it was kind of cool. It's just like
That is pretty
nothing, nothing, town, red football field and then back to nothing.
Pretty much how it feels when you're out
Yeah.
there. All right, give it to me, Thorny.
Brendan Henshaw asks us, how will having Julius Davis back impact touches for other impact players? Adam Jones, Scottree, Taco, and tight ends. We already talked a little bit about it, but yeah, how's it going to affect the touches? And how many touches do you think Julius gets?
I hope it affects Scottray's a little bit, because I was thinking, with the passing, blocking, and just the amount of bruising he does, I'd like to save him a little more.
Hmm.
I know he hasn't been playing a ton of second halves too, but just the way he plays, man. And when we get in colder, rougher weather, it's just like I'd like to save that guy a couple blows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's already been getting taken out in those kinds of games. I don't know. How many carries is Scottree getting per game? Got 125 carries. I'm not going to do the math on that.
I'll tell you.
125 divided by 8.
Typically between like 14 to 20
Yeah,
touches.
15, a little over 15, closer to 16 yards per carry, or attempts per game. That's a fair amount, actually. That's a fair amount. It's higher than I was thinking it was. So he's getting some work in. He's almost
I
at
think
1,000
Davis
yards
gets like 10 touches, is my guess.
for Davis.
Yeah.
Ooh,
He's
buy or sell more than 10 touches.
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna buy more than 10 touches,
Okay, I'm with you on that.
but nothing crazy. I'm thinking like 12 to 14.
11. He's gonna get 11 carries.
Adam Jones under 5.
No, because I think Adam Jones plays most of the second half.
Adam Jones is Colson Kuhn now.
Who's
Kuhn's
Colson
been getting a fair
Kuhn
amount
then?
of run in the late of the game, so I think Jones will get some carries.
What was Jones's injury?
Did they ever disclaim it?
I'm not sure I
They
heard
just
what
said
it
he
was
was banged
exactly.
up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anything else, Thorny?
Johnny Longman, who do you think will cover Chisholm the best? Part 1 of his question.
I think you're going to pass him off to Polidor.
I was gonna say Drew Polidor over the top. I bet you he lays the boom on him a couple times.
That would be exciting.
Interesting thing Coach Vegan talked about today was he was talking about our coverage. He said this year we've been mixing coverages a lot and disguising them way more than we ever did last year. He also talked about the cornerback battle between John Johnson, Simeon Woodard, and Polidor. Am I saying that right? Not Drew Polidor, John Johnson.
Andrew
Powdrell,
Powdrell.
yeah.
Powdrell, yeah.
Andrew Powdrell. And only 2 of them get to play at one time. And he says when John Johnson came over here, it kind of raised the level of competition. And for lack of a better way, it kind of just, the cream is rising to the top. He said Simeon Woodard's playing some of his best ball he's ever played as of lately.
Secondary seems to get more confident as the season's gone on.
I agree. I like the way they're
I
playing.
think they've looked better. They looked a little weak. I had some concerns at the beginning of the season with them.
Oh, something we used to do on this podcast a lot that we've kind of gotten away from is a bold prediction. I want a bold prediction from you guys.
The offense has 450 yards in the first half.
Hold on, let me write this down. I want to come back to that one. Woo.
I mean, we had 417 against Portland State, so
450 in first half.
what did we have last year in the first half? That's what I want. I'm gonna go look that up.
That is really bold, Zach. I love it. Love it. Damn.
Julius
made me
Davis,
sweat a little bit.
125
Jeez.
yards.
What's that?
Davis has 125 yards.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
And I said about 11 carries, so do the math on the yards per carry on that.
I could see Davis busting an 80-yard touchdown, like second touch he gets.
I can see it too.
I'm going to need a couple
Against
40
that
or 50
defense,
yards.
They're like ripping his jersey in half like Superman afterwards. Davis, 125 yards. All right, guys.
All right, we had last
And 2
year.
tutties.
We beat them 57-14 last year. I think we were up 44 at half, it looks like. Something like that. So, I mean, good lord. Sorry, 41-7 at half. And 551 yards total, but most of that was in that first half. Yikes.
They
All right.
basically did last year what Portland State did 2 weeks ago, where they just were like, we're just getting crushed. We don't want to play anymore.
They gave
then-
up.
Yeah, they gave up.
I remember I was walking at halftime. I walked by the end zone where they have their locker room on that one side in the end zone. And I saw all their coaches were huddled up there kind of behind like one of the coffee shacks right outside the locker room, and not one of them was saying a word. Like, it was all just like a welp, what do we do now moment.
Yeah. I'm going pick
I mean-
6, guys. We haven't had one this season. Pick 6 on the red. It feels so good.
What's
Coming
the
right to us.
Wonder what a parlay pays of all three of those.
Where are you sitting at, Zach?
I was texting my dad. I think we're in the visitors section, so behind the bench.
Okay.
So that's where I'll be for that game. But yeah, let's see how many people are there. I'm also curious to see how many Bobcat fans show up to this one.
Our tickets are in the end zone, but if there's some loose seating assignments in the Bobcat section, we will migrate over there for sure.
Do you think Eastern kind of sells out that one side, or do you think it's going to be kind of a half-empty ordeal?
In the games I've gone, there's always a strong contingent of Bobcat fans, so
Yeah.
it will be packed early on.
There'll be
yeah.
a lot of Bobcat fans, but also this is a 2-6 Eastern team, so I'm curious
Yeah,
how many Eastern people are still interested at the moment.
I would say at most there's going to be 11,000 fans there.
Really?
That would be a
Interesting.
lot.
That'd be a
lot.
ton of people. for that
Yeah.
race.
Yeah, for this iteration of the Eagles, like
Ooh.
back when they were making the playoffs, Bobcat game would be a sellout.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to be there. I don't know if we've announced it yet. We're all going. Fully going. I'm going.
Are you
Ooh.
coming over on Saturday or are you coming Friday night?
I'm coming Saturday. It sucks, but
Yeah, I'm coming over Friday night.
it's like a 6-hour drive. I'm going to have to like leave at like 5 in the morning.
What are you doing Friday night there, Zach? What's your plans?
TBD, probably going to No Lie and grabbing beers and sandwiches because we used to do that a lot when I lived over there.
Okay. Well,
Love that place. Miss that.
I'll be around, man. I'm
All right.
free. I'm hanging out.
I'm lonely.
Put it out there.
We do have
Peace.
some plans
Put it
on
out
Friday
there.
night.
All right.
I think my wife and I are going to go out with some friends, but
Yeah, I'll let you know. I don't know what time I'm going to get into town either because 6 hours from Bozeman.
all right.
It's a cool
Jordan,
place to watch a game. It's
are
going to
you
be a good
gonna-
weekend.
Are you going to leave on Sunday or are you leaving after?
Yeah,
the
I'll
game?
leave on Sunday.
Okay, cool. All right.
So staying late enough, just not getting early as I'd like.
Okay. Well, sounds good. All right, guys.
Yeah.
I think that's all from us. I think we need to pick a Golden Coolie
No,
winner.
we had the second part of the Johnny Longman question.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
What is it, buddy?
And this is one that Zach talked a little bit about earlier. Do you think MSU deserves the number 1 seed if we win out? He says the only team in history to not get the number 1 seed after going undefeated was Sam Houston State in 2020 during the COVID spring season, which I dug into that. And that's
Yeah, I
actually-
found there's a couple more.
there's a couple. Yeah, I found.
I caveated that of the major conferences.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
but I mean, Sam Houston went undefeated one year and didn't get the 1 seed. Actually, twice that happened.
Sac State also in 22, I believe, was undefeated, and they ended up with the 2 seed over us.
So
That was
it's
the
happened
year
a
we
couple
got
times.
screwed.
But let's just stick to the main spirit of the question, though. Can the Cats get the 1 seed?
100%. I'd argue an undefeated Montana State team. I know NDSU has the 1 loss to an FBS, but if you go undefeated in a conference and you beat an FBS team regardless, I think that deserves the number 1 seed in the country.
I'm with you on
Deserves
that
it,
one.
yeah.
Stacking wins. I know you can say strength of schedule, strength of record. Hey, you can only play who's in front of you, and you went out and beat every single team in front of you, and that's telling. it's not like, we've got, I know I got in it with the Reddit FCS guy on Twitter, but regardless, if you pull out, big wins, and we talked about style points, if you go put, a 20-point win over UC Davis and you go kill the Grizz in the brawl, you're playing like the number one team in the country.
Yeah.
Those are
I think
big
style
ifs, though.
points is the only way to get there.
Yes. And the only thing, I mean, if you want to play the style points game, we haven't had a game that's been close. I mean, NDSU, barring the miracle, I mean, ETSU should have beaten the Bison earlier in the year. And if we're going to nitpick, those things and strength of schedule and how you beat teams, we also need to, bring it to that of, hey, I know it was an early season game, but we got killed in 2022 for getting blown out by Oregon State, and we got the 4 seed and we didn't have a loss. We didn't have an FCS loss. So if you want to point the fingers on that too, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's fair. You got to kind of look at everything in the close wins by North Dakota State, I think would, like you said, style points is really where this is going to have any chance for this to happen. We do have some high ranked teams on the schedule left. We need them to stay high ranked. That's a big part of it. And we need to blow them out.
If
Question
this team,
for you, fellas. Go ahead,
sorry,
Zach. No, finish your thought because it's going to be a different thought.
If this team goes undefeated and doesn't win a national title, where does it rank in the history of, does it get talked about like the national title teams?
I mean, if they make it to the title and
if you make it to the title and lose, or you make it to a semi and lose, and where does that rank?
Well, probably the next best season that wasn't a championship season, I guess.
Yeah. I don't want to put the cart before the horse because I think this leads into my question is, do you think the Cats are peaking too early? Have we peaked? Do you think?
I don't think we're close to peaking.
Are we going to continue to get stronger or stay strong? I haven't seen this version of the Bobcats before. It feels really strong right now, and it doesn't feel like fool's gold to me. And so a little bit for me is like, is the other shoe going to drop, or will a shoe drop? Because it hasn't felt like it has. Because everything's felt roses lately. Like we're winning before halftime.
We're 8-0, man, and we're dominating. I mean, I'd say more. Just enjoy the ride. Like, just enjoy what we've built here.
Yeah,
I love your optimism, Zach, and I look at your fresh face, and I got 20 years on you, bro. I got 20 years on you. I know how this feels.
Just enjoy what this feels like. All I can equate, this kind of feeling, and everybody on this podcast might know that I'm a UW football fan too, but I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and going to in my little Husky jersey in elementary school with all the teachers that went to U of O, and we went 0-12 in 2008. And I just remember watching every single one of those games with my dad and feeling just how terrible that feeling was and how awful, those were like my first memories of football, was terrible football. And then I remember in 2010 sitting in the Holiday Bowl with my dad watching the Nebraska game and us finally beat Nebraska and win a bowl game. I remember how good that feeling was. And then I remember in 2016 when we won the conference for the first time in forever. And as a Bobcat fan, I kind of think about, I remember going and watching all the Portland State games, especially on the basketball side. I remember watching a lot of bad Bobcat basketball against Portland State growing up. And so that's when we won the first title with Danny, that how good that feeling felt of watching the Bobcats finally achieve something in basketball. Now on the football side, I mean, there were some down years. I remember being in high school and watching those games and just feeling like, man, we should be so much better than this. So just I think of myself in those moments of just when my team has been bad, or it's just been like, wow, we suffered through this. But that's fandom, man. Yeah. It's what makes this so special. Why we text about it every day, why we care about it, is when you are bad, you still watch. And when you are good, you watch even more and you care even more.
It makes all the bad years sort of worth it.
Sort of worth it. To every Bobcat fan, I would say, enjoy this. Enjoy every single day. Enjoy the 1-0 mentality. Enjoy Brent Vegan. Enjoy Tommy Malott. Because, like it or not, things change, and you never know when things, may get changed to a different way. So enjoy this season. Enjoy what you're going to talk about this season probably for the next 25 years.
I hope so.
You're right.
Yeah. You'll probably talk about, hey, remember this Bobcat team, no matter how this, ends, you'll remember what the 2024 Bobcats were. And that's awesome. I feel so lucky that we get to talk about them like this.
That's good, man.
Love it.
Well, I do want to ask Zach one more thing. I know he just went on a very
A rant.
inspirational rant. I want to give you a chance to plug Brickball.
Yep.
What's coming up?
Well, we got a preview episode. I'm not gonna tell. I told you guys before. I have locked down a guest for our preview episode, and we'll be doing it. Hopefully, releasing later this week. Going over the men's stuff, and then starting to go into the women's stuff. Believe it or not, we have our first game on the 4th, and it's a murderer's gauntlet on the men's side for sure going into the season. Man, I mean, there's a lot of teams that are play a lot of Power 4 teams to start the year. But we got a ton of talent, ton of transfers. If you're I was walking to class this morning, and I was, of course, the thought I had was, I don't know who our starting lineup is. I don't know. Maybe I could get 2 of 5 right, but if you told me who's going to walk out on that court to start the first game of the year, I don't think I could tell you.
Yeah,
which is I don't know if that's a good thing, but we got a lot of dudes. That's the thing I think about. We got a lot of dudes on this team. So if you enjoyed it last year, hopefully I can bring you some more content. Hopefully I can bring you guys some women's content. I'll shout out also the volleyball team beating the Grizz 3-0. That was pretty sweet
fun.
to watch
That was
during the
fun.
bye week. ESPN Plus is amazing, man. I love how much Bobcat stuff I get to consume on that thing. But Brickball should be awesome this year. We're going to try to have way more guests. We're going to try to give you guys a lot more insight. And last year I told you to stick with me. This year I'm, as Logie likes to say, we're going to circle the wagons.
Oh, interesting. I like it.
And I think I gave my preseason prediction. I'm sticking with it. 16-2 in conference.
There it is, folks.
That's your Brickball early season analysis. Is this team is capable of going 16-2 in conference?
16-2.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
Don't ask me who the losses are. I haven't gone win-loss through the whole thing yet.
I only
So
know
I
2 of our
can't
starters,
remember-
but 16-2. That's what
So-
the Big Sky basketball, I will say too, as a conference though, besides us and maybe Montana, might be down this year. So just a heads up on that. I think the conference as a whole might be a little down.
Kind of like football. Interesting.
Yep.
All right. I can't remember. Did we do 1 episode or 2 episodes a week?
It was 1, and when we felt like it last year, pretty much.
Sure. Okay.
Or when we could have somebody on. So we're gonna try to be a little more consistent. We got a couple people in the repertoire of guests that I'm building for this thing, and then I'm sure we'll see another appearance from our good buddy Mac Anderson and a couple more guests.
Nice, man.
I look
It's
forward to
just
it.
shocking to me that it's November 4th. We're
here.
kicking off the
Crazy.
slate and crossover season, and I'm glad we got Keaton when we did, because I'm sure he's busy as heck right now, like preparing for basketball and football. All right, man. I'm stoked for it. I got booted. I'm not the good looking girlfriend this week. I thought I was, but yeah, you have a cool guest coming.
Found somebody
on.
better.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian. You're not on the cast anymore.
Yeah, I sprung that on you right before the episode too.
It's okay. It's just the R&R cast.
It's just your show, your name on it.
All right, buddy. Thorny, any last or parting comments?
No, man. Nothing
Okay,
here.
I do. It was a burning question. I know it's bad timing, but I gotta know: is Montana State elite without beating until we beat a Dakota school?
No, I think
No.
we're elite. We beat the Jackrabbits on the way to the title game. We were right there with North Dakota State in a game we probably should have won last year. I mean, we're there. We passed the eye test.
Coach Gregorak said we're not until we beat those guys. Thorny,
No.
your thoughts?
I agree.
You agree with who?
I think we're there.
I agree. We're not elite until we beat one of them.
Ooh, differing opinions.
You got to slay the dragon, and you're going to have to beat 1 or 2 of them to win a national title. You're not going to call yourselves national champions without beating a Dakota State school.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Agreed on that. Montana State is not elite until we beat one of those guys this year. This Montana State, we cannot say is elite until we beat the Dakota State schools.
No, they're still there, man. They're still
Yeah.
probably still the favorites, even though South Dakota State's number 3.
But when we beat them, Just pop those corks.
That's right.
I'm the only one saying it. We're elite before we play them.
I could like give me another beer. I could agree with both of you guys. So there we go. All right, Thorny, take us out,
We'll
buddy.
give you one in Spokane.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you guys and cracking some beers and watching some Bobcat football. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to our last of our kind of bye week episode, bleeding into the Eastern Washington preview. Appreciate it. You can find us on rrcatcast.com. You can find us on rrcatcast on Twitter, Instagram. The handle is rrcatcast anywhere you go. Gentlemen, let's get out of here. Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.